Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you are new, and today I'm going to be talking about the toxic system of the gacha community. And quick disclaimer before the video, I am not trash talking the community. It's not one of those things where I'm like, this community is so toxic, it's horrible, you don't want to join it, it's so bad, everyone's a kid. No, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Though the community mainly based around kids is kind of a true fact. But also this is like, I guess, kind of like a warning to new people entering the community, and like a reminder, or not even a reminder, just telling, it's like spreading awareness, because I'm spreading awareness. So the thing I'm going to be talking about today is those type of comments saying her slash him slash they draws a few lines, masterpiece. Me, can't even draw a stick man. Now, I've said in the past that I literally hate those comments so much. They are my pet peeve. I hate them. They're annoying. I delete them because I hate them. Anyways, enough about that. That's not the point. The point is those comments can be very destructive. If you might not even notice it. You might not even realize it. That's why people comment it. Because if they knew how destructing and negative these comments are, they probably wouldn't comment it at all. Now I think people comment this because they don't want to seem snobbish, they want to be quote-unquote relatable, or they want to make it as a joke, or it's a compliment to the artist. But the truth is, it's not good in any way. Some people might find it funny, I personally don't, but I guess it might be relatable to some people, but it's not good. Here's why. Because first of all, the artists, no, well, at least from like the artists I know, nobody likes those kind of comments. It makes the artists feel like uncomfortable. They like, also some comments like the tutorial videos, people are like, oh, this tutorial wasn't really, okay, after watching this tutorial, I still can't draw blank. And then in the end they add, it's probably not your fault, it's because I'm stupid, right? But it can also kind of be offensive to the creator in some way, because it's like you're saying that their explanation wasn't good enough or something like that, because like sometimes they literally put all their work and effort and they try to explain the thing as well as they can, and then you're saying like, oh, I don't understand it, and it's kind of like offensive in a way. Or the creator could get the idea that you didn't listen entirely to everything that they said. That's why you're not getting it, because sometimes with a really good explanation, even from professional teachers, people might not like understand what they're saying, and half the time it's because they're not actually listening properly. Oh my god, so sorry, excuse me. Anyways, another way that it's really bad is because obviously the person that's saying those comments, by saying that I am not worthy, I am bad at art, I have practiced for so long, that kind of thing, you are like, it's like shutting a gate of opportunity. You're just telling yourself that I can't do this, and that's the end of it. And when you say I can't, there's no room for improvement, so you're never going to improve at art if you keep yourself in that kind of mindset that your art is trash, everything you do is trash, everyone else's art is amazing and you are trash. It's not a good mindset to be in. It's very destructive to yourself, and you're not going to get better at art by saying that. And it's not really, it doesn't benefit anybody in any way either. And another way, it can also destruct like younger people that are just getting started at art or just joining the gacha community or something, because when they see those comments with something like, oh, I've been practicing for 12 years and my art still looks like garbage, younger people, younger artists, beginners, they might see that and think, oh, well, if they've already been practicing for so long and their art is still trash, how am I gonna get anywhere? Or how am I gonna get good? And then it's kind of like a vicious cycle. And then the new artists, they start typing those things in because they see people saying it, so they say it too. And then, it's a cycle, and it carries on and it carries on, it carries on, and it affects other people because they see it and they think, oh yeah, that's so true, my art is trash too. Because when they see people do stuff, you imitate it, whether that's consciously or subconsciously. So I hope you get the picture, why it's destructive. Like, it doesn't help people, and it's pretty toxic because it's really discouraging to artists yourself if you type those comments, and others beginners. Or even if they're not beginners and they're intermediates or something and they see it, they might not think their art is that good, and by reading that comment they feel even worse about themselves. Yeah, so please guys, don't type those type of comments. They're not helpful in any way at all. In fact, they're like worse than helpful. They're destructive and they're not encouraging in any way. And by like comparing yourself to other people, there's no point. As long as you're improving from your old art, it doesn't matter. Even if your art a year ago doesn't look that much worse than your current art, you improved, and that's what matters. So what I want to say is that like people improve at different speeds, and like it's totally fine if you just improve slowly. Lots of art YouTubers out there like 20s in their 20s, and they started art around 13, and I look at their old art and like I can draw better than them when they were 13. And I'm not trying to say like I'm better than them or anything, but what I'm saying is it's kind of like a motivating way. Also, like they've been practicing for like much longer than you. The majority of people in the gacha community are around like 10 to like 16, and like we only have so much, like we've only lived for a few years, and they've been practicing, like those artists, YouTubers, they've been practicing for as long as we've lived. So if you think about it, like they've had much more experience, and you can't compare yourself to them because not everyone improves at the same speed. They've lived for much longer than you, and you know. So yeah. As well as that, another thing you should never do is say like, oh my gosh, she's so talented, she's so good at art. You know, like people can be talented. They might be born with like an advantage in something, like some people might be born with just aesthetically pleasing kind of what the heck am I saying? Anyways, what I'm trying to say is some people might just be able to see when colors don't match well, when they don't this and that and correspond and stuff. Some people might just get perspectives really easily, but the point is, if you like have talent but you don't practice, you still don't get good art. Practice is key, and I'm not just telling you to practice. It also depends how and what you practice. Because without like, even without talent, you can still get really good at art, or quote unquote talent. But honestly, it doesn't matter, like talent or not. You can get good at art if you practice, if you put in dedication, if you put in your blood, sweat, and tears, and you commit to art. You can get good at it. But if you're gonna sit in a corner complaining that your art is garbage and everyone else is better than you, you're not gonna get anywhere, even if you have quote unquote talent. Like many artists you see, they probably put in like hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours into art, into practicing art, and that is how they got to where they are today. Also, for beginners or intermediates, or if you just want to get better at art in general, here's a tip. Do studies. And if you don't know what studies are basically looking at a reference photo. Maybe it is a picture. Well, almost 99.99% of the time it is a picture. So you look at a real life photo reference and you try to copy it. Or not exactly copy it by thing, but if you're doing like a pose study, you might have a picture of a model and you would draw that in your style. But you want to copy the pose correctly, and the perspective and everything like that, and the anatomy. That is like a study. You can also do studies of literally anything you want. Maybe a lamp, you might just want to study the lamp, see the details, get the general shape, proportions, and everything, and then adapt that into your style. But if you are a beginner and you find copying a photo hard, especially if it's a real life picture of a person, those are pretty hard to copy, you might copy someone else's study. For example, another artist have done a study of a picture. You might copy that artist's study, because when you're copying someone else's study, it's kind of like they already broken down the picture for you, so you're just copying down the broken down part of a picture. If that makes any sense in any way, you let me know. So yeah, those are some ways that you could get better at art. Just do studies, practice. Sorry if that's really annoying advice, but it's true. Because me, myself, alone in like the span of not even 12 months, a year yet, probably like 10 months more like. In my Ibis Paint, I have over 800 canvases, and each thing took around half an hour to 1 hour. So if you calculate that, that is like around like 500 hours alone in Ibis Paint. And beware, I use lots of other programs like Procreate, Photoshop, traditional art. Like if you add all of the like hours together, I've probably spent more than 1,000 hours in a year practicing art. So you have to know that it does not come immediately. Just like any other skill, like cooking, playing an instrument, or something, you have to practice to get good at it. You can't expect to watch like one tutorial or like go to one music lesson and be able to play like Moonlight Sonata on the piano. It doesn't work like that. So you can't expect yourself to just get good at something overnight, because that's not gonna happen. Yeah. So please, guys, if anything, you should be encouraging. Say, just, I don't know, just like say, well, to compliment artists, you should never put yourself down. Say, maybe you want to say like, hey, your art is really amazing, I really like this. Okay, I think that's just a way better way of doing it. Another thing is, I want to say that self-deprecation and modesty are two completely different things. Because I feel like some people say things like, oh, my art is trash, because they don't want to seem like snobby or something. Like, oh my god, my art is the best or something. You don't want to seem like that, right? But it's completely okay to say good things about your own art. It's fine. You just don't want to make it seem like your art is better than everyone else. But there's nothing wrong with saying your own art is good or appreciating your own work. There's nothing wrong with that. Being modest is good, but being self-deprecating is bad. In fact, in my opinion, being self-deprecating and snobbish are the same. They're both incredibly bad. They're both morally bad. Even though socially, society is more accepting of self-deprecation. Don't know why, but morally they're both bad, okay? So, there. Being modest is completely fine. There's a fine line between modesty and self-deprecation. Self-deprecation is saying my work is trash, I hate it, and everyone else is better than me. But being modest is when someone compliments you like, hey, I really like your art, it's pretty good. And you would say, no, it's not as good as it sounds, but thank you very much for your kind words. That would be modesty. You're not putting yourself down, you're not denying you're denying what they're saying, but you're not saying the opposite of what they're saying. You know what I mean? Self-deprecating would be if someone says, hey, I really like your art, it's really good. And you would say, no, it's not. It's absolutely garbage and you are 100% wrong. My art is the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. You probably need to bleach your eyes out right now. I know I kind of went overboard with it, but that's just an exaggeration, a hyperbole. So, there's a fine line between that. You can stay modest, or you could be like, hey, thank you very much. Yeah, that part, it's also my favorite part in the work. It took a little while, but I'm pleased with it. I think it could be improved. You know, that isn't technically modest, but it's just accepting a compliment. There's nothing wrong with that. I guess people don't want to sound like, oh my gosh, yeah, I know, right? My art is so good. I mean, like, why don't I have like 1 million followers? Because my art is like so good. Also, like, look at this anatomy. It's perfect. You know, that would be snobbish. And I think people don't want to seem like they're snobbish. That's why they put themselves down or be the self-deprecating thing. But you don't have to do that. Saying thank you or just, no, it's not that good, it's fine. Don't go further than that. Don't go further than that. Okay? Because if you go further than that, it is just as bad as being snobbish. Trust me. Okay. Anyway, so that that's out of the way, I just want to wish you all good luck on your art journey. I will be here to support you. I will be I'm handing out tips and stuff. And I just want to, I don't want anyone to put their thumbs down, because it's just, why? There's no point in it. Yeah, honestly, just appreciate your own artwork, please. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with liking your own art. As long as you can, Like, if you can see mistakes, you don't have to point it out unless someone asks or something. You know what I mean? Also, another thing is critique. Let's talk about critique, shall we? So, critiquing. I know some artists hate it. Like, some people are like, I didn't ask for your critique. I'm always open to critique, but there's one thing that I really like. If you're gonna point out something's weird or like bad necessarily or not right, please have a solution to your critique. Like, if you're saying like the face is wonky, please tell the artist how to fix it, because not like a lot of times, like maybe 6 times out of 10, the artist realizes that, but they don't know how to fix it, so they just left it in. Sometimes an artist might not see mistakes in their art because you've been staring at it for way too long that you can't even see it properly anymore. But sometimes, like, if you're gonna point out a mistake, have a way to tell the artist how to fix it, because like, if you're just telling them that it's bad, how, like, you know, it's not really that helpful. So kind of helpful, it could be like, you could say, hey, I think you should improve your anatomy, and then maybe they could go research anatomy or something. But like, if you want to like point something out, try to have a solution. If you don't, well, I personally don't mind, but some other artists might mind. They might be like, well, I didn't ask for your critique, thank you. But I'm open to critique always. You don't have to ask me for permission. Just critique if you want. Yeah, because I'm always looking forward to improvement. Yeah, so also yeah, this video is so disorganized. I'm just jumping to points, but well. Anyways, I just want to say, like, one of the like compliments I hate getting is your art is perfect. It might sound weird, but I literally hate those compliments so much, just because like I know it's not perfect. And when you're saying it's perfect, you're saying there's no room for improvement, but like everything has room for improvement, unless your drawing is exactly photorealistic and it looks exactly like a photo. There's probably no more improvement. But and like, if you're not going for exactly photo 100% realism, there's always room for improvement. You know, nothing's perfect. So please don't compliment artists by saying their art is perfect, because like, unless it's like photorealism and it looks exactly like the photo, exception. But don't say an artist's art is perfect, because they can see mistakes in it and they would rather you tell them how to improve. Compliments are good, obviously, it motivates them. You could say like, hey, I think your art is really cool, I really like how the hair is done, or something like that. But like, just don't say don't say an artist's art is perfect. Or don't say the artists themselves are perfect, because no human being is perfect. We were designed that way. Alright? Anyways, that's like merely my point. So, conclusion time. Don't be that self-deprecating child, because it's annoying for people. It harms people, harms yourself, and not good. And, yeah. And just watch out, because you see those comments literally on every single video. Oh, and may I add one more thing, because my brain's small and I forget my points, but those literary comments, those comments are everywhere, not just in the gacha community, but they are in art videos, literally art videos, animation videos, everything. And when people see those comments, they see the profile picture, which is usually a gacha character, and then they assume that the gacha character, bro, my English, my brain, the gacha community is full of kids who can't draw, because you said yourself that you can't draw. Those younger gacha people, bro, those smaller gacha tubers, they say like, oh my gosh, I can't draw, my art sucks, and they spread that like word to other communities on YouTube and on literally every social platform. And that is why people say that gacha tubers can't draw, because you said it yourself. Even though there are gacha tubers that can draw, they would never say something like that. But they don't comment on people's videos that usually either. So when people see gacha tubers, they see lots of comments by gacha tubers saying, oh, my art is trash and I can't draw. And that's why they assume that gacha tubers can't draw. I mean, if you're really that surprised, you might see the connection here. And when they see kids saying, oh, my art's trash, I can't draw, like, they think that YouTubers can't draw, and then they necessarily start thinking that they're kids because of the way they're talking. Most adults, I'm not saying no adult does this, but most adults, they wouldn't just go out there and trash their own art. They wouldn't, because they wouldn't they wouldn't, like, I'm not saying that they think their art's really good or something, but like, adults would never go out of the way, adult artists would never go out of their way to say their art is completely trash. So that's another point where it leads people into believing the gacha community is full of kids who can't draw. It's your own fault. So who else can you blame? Honestly. Right? Anyways, yeah. So that is basically what I had to say. Just be aware of the gacha community. It can be toxic in terms of making your art worse or demotivating yourself. So just keep that in mind when you're scrolling around the gacha community, because be careful. You don't want to drag yourself down that vicious cycle of hating your own art and spreading negativity. Peace out. No, I never say that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video or listening to this. I don't know. I'm doing a recording here, so that's why I said listening, but like, you're gonna be watching something too. So thank you for listening / watching this video. Drop a like if you agree with me, or if you like the speed paint, the background thingy, whatever it is. I don't know what it is yet, but if you like whatever's in the background as I'm talking right now or something. And yeah, also, if you disagree with me, leave a comment below and tell me why, because I'm open to opinions. There's the word. I'm open to opinions because I want to hear what everybody has to say. But I hope you take I will be respecting other people's opinions unless they are like self-deprecating supporters. I will not. Well, I would still respect it. I just wouldn't agree with it, and I'll try to prove you wrong. But yeah, with all that being said, peace. Goodbye.
Every day.